happy Sunday, everybody, and welcome to Woodbine Racing Live, where it is our version of Friday. Elisa Blow alongside Jeff Brad. As Robert pointed out, too, a reminder, yesterday was a traffic nightmare. Not just for me, but for people all over the place. I talked to a lot of people yesterday that were just having horrible experiences on highways all over the Ontario region.
Yeah, you're right. So if you're not familiar, if you're watching, say, in the States or around the world, Toronto traffic is brutal at the best of times. And if you get any accidents, then it's awful. And then we had the Caribbean Festival downtown yesterday, so a bunch of roads were closed down there. The Gardner is always under construction, so that's a mess. The northbound on the, what did you say, the 404?
That
was
closed.
A disaster. You got stuck on the QEW.
That was closed.
Yeah, so it was.
And then the 401 was closed for a portion yesterday as well. Like crazy.
It was crazy. But I have one request for you. Please stay here the night before the plates.
You know what's funny? So our boss, Rob Platts, son of Hall of Famer Robin Platts, I saw him today and I said to him, aren't you happy? I know I am that we have a hotel booked for me the night before plate, because there's no way I'd want to deal with that.
No, I'm with
you.
I'm with you. Just one less thing to worry about.
You got that right.
Like on the best of days, I panic if I'm late for work. And I'm never late for work.
No, he's way early.
I get such an anxiety thing going on. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to be there on time. But anyways. We're gonna have a great day
I couldn't
today.
do anything about it yesterday.
No, I know.
I gave up and said I'll get there when I get there, and I'm happy I got there, because did we ever have a good card of racing? Yesterday we had 3 stakes on yesterday's program, and a little bit of everything yesterday with those nice little CTHS baby races. They were fun, going for good purses to $75,000, and the track was fairly fair.
Yeah, we didn't have a ton of races on the synthetic because the EP Taylor Turf course was busy. No races on the inside course yesterday, which was a bit of an oddity. But I think the trend is continuing. I think ideally, if you said, Jeff, what style would you like to use? Like if it was given to me on any day, I'd like to be forwardly placed. But I think that's kind of the way that racing's going in North America these days. Speed is just king. And because the one thing I always say to you is you can't teach speed. You either have it or you don't. You can teach everything else in racing, but you can't teach speed. I guess you can't teach talent either. Perfect example is me on the show. But,
I'll tell you what you can't control either is size.
Oh my goodness.
And this Uja filly who won here yesterday, she was a monster. Like, honest to goodness, you needed a step ladder to get on her yesterday.
It was great to see her run. I think Ready to Jam ran great, but was just simply second best. Who knows how good this horse is? And got a decent number at odds of 7-2, able to win, and one completely perfect trip engineered by Rafael Hernandez to pull off the victory in a quick time too. I think they went 7 and change, so they were really rolling. But this course is really firm right now. It is. You and I often say that July and August firm turf is different than a firm turf course in October.
Oh, absolutely. That's night and day. Okay, this one was pretty exciting. Everybody was waiting for Stanley House to have his moment, and he finally did it yesterday. And wow, I mean, gate to wire at 1.25 miles.
I'm not surprised he won. I'm surprised the way he won. I did not expect him to show speed, and I was actually talking to Leo today, and he said, you know what? I just figured if I can get him out and get him to the rail, that might be the best kind of position to be in. And it worked out to perfection. He ran great. And as I tweeted out last night, I just thought if any horse was worthy of a stakes win, it was this guy right here. And who knows what's up next for him, because he's a cool horse, and he needed that victory.
He sure did. And then this one was a win for all the Swifties out there. Patrick Husbands kind of tipped his cards by going to Swift Delivery, and there you go. And you had said too, he's saying this is one of his favorite horses ever.
Absolutely. You can even see the horse afterwards when he came back. He just gave the horse so much love, And, unfortunately for Dresden Road, not the best of trips there. I think Patrick really rode a smart race and put Ryan into a bad spot, and Ryan didn't get out until it was too late. Might not have made a difference anyways, but Swift Delivery. You know what's funny about Swift Delivery is he got really good last year, and then his form tailed off considerably.
That's right.
But he's back now to where he once was.
There was a point where we're like, I guess that's done. Right? Yeah. And he had given us so many nail-biting performances last year too that everybody kind of jumped on the bandwagon. But you're right, that race on the grass last year, we can just forget about that. This is the surface he wants to be on.
He ran terrific, and it's just so cool. Like I have no idea how many races Patrick's ridden, but for him to say that's one of his favorite horses,
that means a lot.
That's kind of cool.
Yep, that means a lot. And actually, yesterday, Mark Cassidy and Patrick Husbands teamed up for 2 winners on the program. They had a nice win earlier on in the card with Super Zonda back in race number 2. So, yeah, busy day yesterday. Cassie with a couple, Patrick with a couple. We saw Hernandez, of course, with a couple of big wins on the program, too. We had that nice win for Dale DeRusso back in the 5th race on the card.
Yeah, baby. Those CTHS races were fun.
They were fun.
They were fun.
Yep.
And it gave us a bit of a glimpse as to maybe what to expect when it comes to the big sales races. You know who I'm going to play next time out? So I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
What stake, like if it's a stake and main race, that Richards horse.
Lauren Richards' horse, the baby. Yeah, there were 2 horses on the program yesterday I put stars beside, and that was one of them for next time out. I can't remember the other one, but that one was visually impressive in the paddock and really impressive out on the racetrack. Speaking of out on the racetrack, this morning, busy day with training, and of course Ernie Perry's got his eye on everything. And look at this, he rated the track out of 4 to 5. That's kind of where he is lately. But what he said is when it got better as the sun came up, slower first thing in the morning. It's nice and cool now too, first thing in the morning. So if you want to get your horses out early and you're not a fan of the heat or they're not a fan of the heat, you get an opportunity to train in some cooler weather.
You know what sucks though is I'm starting to notice the days getting shorter.
I know, it's crazy.
Because it used to be like for training the sun would be up already.
Yeah.
And but I do notice the days are getting a little bit shorter now. This Cheyenne Kiss won pretty impressively the other day, and Willie Thrones has got a very interesting first-time starter on today's program as well. But Willie, he's done very, very well with his babies. And then the best wagering race is the boys' version of the girls' race yesterday, which was a fireworks event. I felt bad for Nick Nozowenko. He pulls off a big upset. He's probably like, yeah, that's great. Had to survive 2 inquiries at 2 different portions of the race.
And there's a barn that's starting to get rolling too, the Nick Nozowenko outfit. Well, we got lots to talk about, but before we get to the topics, just quickly, got to say happy birthday to my mom. The anniversary of her 29th birthday is today. And, we miss you, Mom, but she watches every day.
Happy birthday, Beth, from all of us here at Woodbine. Not only us, but also Awesome Connection as well.
Yes, and her grandchildren that have 4 legs.
Yes.
Bo and Galani. Alrighty, let's talk about what we've got on the program for you today. A couple of topics to discuss, quite a few topics to discuss. And the first one comes up for us in race number 3 on the card. Now, the 3rd race goes a mile and a 16th on the main. It's a 25 non-3. I was very shocked when I saw that the 1-horse Jaybird goes back into the Dunslow barn. It's like, are the Dunslows the Jaybird whisperers? Because you know what's interesting? Brad's had the horse, Mike's had the horse, Devin Gittins tried him for a while, and it looks like even Devin maybe threw his hands up in the air and said, here, give him back to Mike Dunslow and see if he can figure this horse out. I didn't use this horse here today, but I just wanted to mention that. I think Posturing, though, on paper, appears to be the horse to beat.
Very good run last time out. In fact, we'll fire up the replay machine and take a look at it for you right now. I think Savachi was kind of not sure which way to go. You and I quite like the references in this race. The Your Valentino reference, I think, is a good one. And this was at 6.5 furlongs. And right now, I think Satan's saying, do I stick on the inside or do I swing towards the outside? Trying to figure out exactly which way to go. Meanwhile, up front, the horses get a little bit of pressure up front, Your Valentino, and now here comes eventually this run with Posturing. So now we eventually swing towards the inside, but the horse will eventually duck back to the inside. It's a good rally. The question I'm going to pose to you and to everybody watching the show is this a route horse or is this a sprinter? I really don't know. And I don't know if this is a 7 furlong horse, but it's a good run nonetheless. And the problem with Posturing is more than anything, if I was to summarize everything into one little package in here, the 2 for 25 is scary. On paper, it looks terrific in this race, but I'm going to go towards Adapted, just trying to wire the field. Adapted has really blossomed ever since the stretch out and distance. Clearly, Posturing is the horse to beat. The one theme for today that happens in this race and in the baby race, we have a lot of girls taking on boys on this card of race. And you've got Bravo K to Philly taking on the boys, and you've got Dreams and Schemes of Mare taking on the boys as well. But what do you think? Do you think Posturing's better 2 turns, or what do you like? That 7 furlong race from last November was so impressive. but hasn't been able to duplicate it since.
I wonder if after the race on July the 6th, if maybe Sahin said to Mike Mattini, I think he wants to go longer again. You know, you get all sorts of great feedback from your rider. And then, of course, the gallop out too kind of indicates that, you know, he wants to maybe get that stretch out. And let's be honest, he hasn't exactly hooked a tough group
No,
yet.
he has not. I would agree with that. And I guess this is the other question. Do you want to go with a horse that's, and Randy Waples on the harness side often poses this, like Posturing, who's been, you know, a little bit wind shy in his career, or do you want to go towards Adapted, who's won 2 of his last 3 who's facing tougher competition right now?
That's true. Yeah, it all depends on the company, and I think these two have found some good friends here in race number 3 on the program. Let's go to their next topic, which is intimidation. Now, I am not an intimidating person. Jeff is.
Yes, you are. Oh,
Jeff is.
I am so intimidating. For sure.
But 4th race on the card is where we go there. That's the maiden optional claimer. Okay, so this is actually kind of funny. You know, Jeff and I have great relationships with a lot of trainers and owners here after being here for decades. But Tony from Angus comes out of this Don McRae barn, and when we saw him come over to the paddock, we were like, okay, I get it. I get why he hadn't raced as a 2-year-old, because he's a big guy. And then we saw this.
And then Ryan on the gray horse on the inside, once we get rid of this highlighting mark on the replay in here, rides a very intimidating race. And he breaks no rules, it's just race riding. But he's on the front end, and he makes things really tight on the first-time starter, trying to go up on the inside. And as you said, from a size point of view, this is a big horse. And Tony from Angus is saying, I don't know if I really want to go up here or not. And he just makes it so tight. I thought it was a terrific ride by Ryan on that day. And I thought that we would take a look at the head-on, too, because you can really get a great visual here with the head-on, how tight it is in here. So you're trying to get this
big guy
Cadillac Escalade up the inside in here. And, like, good luck. Like, it's your first timer in here. You're getting a little bit tired. And, I can't Ryan just makes it tight right there.
That's scary right there.
That's just race riding. That's just the way it goes. And I was actually talking with Donnie about this the other day with Tony from Angus. He had to move up in class because you run the horse back for a quarter.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
You know what I mean? And so can he win for 40? I think he probably can. He's probably going to improve here today. The question mark is interim analysis. Taking the drop down in class here today for Cassie. Does that one put a bit of a thorn in the side of Tony from Angus?
We all use that horse for the exactor. I mean, basically, we're saying like maybe box the 6 and the 7, but you're right. After that race was over, you know, we're lucky that we have so many good relationships here that we were able to say to Donnie, like, you can't run him back for a tag, right? And he said, no, like this would be where they would be headed. But we'll see what he does here today. Rafael Hernandez had a great day at the office yesterday. He's looking for another one. One of the other horses I tossed in the mix here is the 4th horse. I know he hasn't won in many attempts, but he's a player for exotics.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And you know what? Like, he's in good form right now. He lost a private label, who I love later on the program coming up here. You get Pietro aboard for the very first time. Very, very close. You've got Starvin, who's a first-time gelding all of a sudden. Campbell's running for conditioner team. You'll see that a ton. And you know what I'm going to watch very closely is Run Mateo Run, because that's the half the fast speed fat. But the thing that irks me a little is they waste no time dropping the horse down
I know,
class.
and did hook up with a monster in Blanco in that career debut. Let's go to our next topic, which comes up in race number 6, and that's our 2-year-old race on the card. And we have boys and girls in this 2-year-old event going 3/4 of a mile. It's a maiden special weight with a field of 8. Now, there's a couple of interests. Well, of course, you and me, we love looking up these pedigrees on these firsters, and it's always fun to see just who they're related to. Like, for example, the 1, Winning Agenda, a half to Swingin' Mandy. This is a really nice horse here. You look at the 3, Fly On By. This is a half to Dana's Beauty, a $1.6 million winner. The 4 is a full to Dodester that a lot of people will know. The 5, Mr. Blue, is a half to Bold Honoree that you'll see on today's program. And the 6 is Moon Landing's sister, and not to mention the 7, who's Stolen's sibling as well. So these are all related to horses that we know very well.
And Winning Agenda, what's interesting about Winning Agenda too is they tried to sell the horse down to Keeneland and only got the $14,000 back in January 2024, and then went through our sale and just went for big bucks. That's a lot of money for our local sale in there. You know, there's some talking horses in here, but I thought that Sky Digger was a bit of a talking horse first time. And ran well, very, very well when finishing in the 3rd place position. Although the runner-up from that race came back to be a big-time disappointment the other day, that being Will Win. I landed on Marcus J. You know, I think the works look pretty good in here. The mare, she was a one-time winner. It took place at 6 furlongs. But Mr. Blue's a bit of a talking horse as well, and not only is Bolt Honoree this one's sibling, but a horse named Ready for Candy. You might remember that was a Apollo horse from last year that would always find trouble in races. And then I think they sold the horse at Keeneland for like $400,000 or something like that, and it hasn't run since. Yeah, no, really interesting horses. And you know what's going to burn us probably, because you and I were talking about this guy the other day. We said, we haven't seen Stu Simon 2-year-old first-time starter as of yet. And here he goes with Appledorn, who is by one of the hottest stallions locally right now in Collected.
And another horse who earlier on, and I would say like maybe a month ago, maybe, Jeff, that made the clocker list. Not a clocker horse, but one to watch is this Kentucky Bill. From the Bill Theranos farm.
Why did he go for so cheap?
So cheap. A frosted, selling for only $4,000, and it's the first foal, but did catch Ernie's eye, and enough so much so that he put the horse on the board to watch out for.
You know what? That is a really good jockey trainer combo of Savachi and Theranos.
Very good. Very good. Next topic comes up in race number 7, and we're talking about just missing. Well, you know, there's nothing worse than just missing in races. Like, oh, the defeat, it hurts. But we have a few horses in here who just missed, and one of them is Hammerhead, who just missed to Wyoming Bill back on June the 21st.
Yeah, and even the runner-up Side Street's a pretty nice horse, too. And sometimes you look at, and like I can be critical of horses that give up leads in races. Like I don't love seeing it, but sometimes you run your race and you just get beat by better horses. And I think that might have happened last time out with Hammerhead back on June the 21st. Yeah, did Wyoming Bill come out this race and not win? Yeah, but ran a tremendous race in the day here. And
different trip he wins.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought that Side Street ran a terrific race here too as well. And you look at Hammerhead had a bit of a wide journey on this day. He's eventually going to get to the front. And right now, this forced the race was thinking, man, we might be home. Like we've got this. But this is the problem when you get in this category to face classy horses. These other horses, they've got kicks just as good as you do. And here comes Wyoming Bill. I mean, it sucks. You lose by 3/4 of a length when you finish in the 3rd place position. But a big race. And you know, you can maybe make a case that this race has come up a little bit easier. Like, do you think there's a Wyoming Bill in here? I don't think there is.
Well, the only horse that worries me a bit is English Actor.
Same.
You know, because English Actor ran against some good Cassie horses in Special Session and Ashley's Archer last start out. So I feel the same way. I feel like it's a toss-up between the 2 and the 3. You could look at Rodney Barrow's horse, the 4, Westside Tide, because you know, this horse was second to Wagstaff.
That's turned out to be a bit of a key
Wagstaff has turned out to be a little monster this year, and he beat Journeyman, and Journeyman came back to look like an old superstar on the Thursday program.
Yeah, you're right about that. An English Actor, this mare, like they've been dying to get this horse on the grass. So the mare was a 4-time winner on the turf. She won the Dance Smartly. She was 3rd in the E.P. Taylor Stakes. And the mare has also produced 3 stakes place horses on the grass, and there's a couple of Hammerheads right there.
Look at how happy Robert is in that picture.
Looks pretty happy too.
You know, he's getting closer and closer to getting a job in the morning.
Well,
instead of jogging, walk a few horses.
And despite the bites, or the nibble, we should say. He's still being quite comfortable with the horses.
Oh, he loves them. He loves them. He's not that far away from turning left on one of them eventually. I know it's going to happen. Next one we got to talk about comes up in race number 9. This is where we kick off the late double for you on today's program, and that's the optional 32 going 2 turns. All right, the barn that's hot this week is a James Begg barn. They are represented in here with Galleyhead. But the interesting horse to me is the 6, Bolt Honoree. Now, you're going to see Bolt Honoree's little sibling compete earlier on in the 2-year-old race, but this is the horse that Julia Carey took for $32,000. Now, she doesn't make a ton of claims. So you know that she did all her homework before she took this one. And what's interesting is that A, she's waited the 30 days to bring the horse back, and B, Pietro's followed the horse over to her barn.
And I don't know how much of a turf horse this one really is. So I think this one will be happy getting back over to the main track. And you might remember, too, the other day, I think it was last July the 26th when we had Ernie's notes on for a Saturday or Sunday. And this horse made onto his report for a horse to watch in the morning time. And then I remembered the horse was claimed by Julia. So I kind of love the way that she's playing the game. If you can wait the 30 days, you can do it, and you can make some money along the way. Now, War Painter, I think is one of the more frustrating horses here because you know she's got the talent to do it, but so often she lets people down.
Yeah.
And I just hope that today she can kind of put everything together in here. And then what do you do with other Kevin horse here, this being American Woman who gets onto the synthetic for the very first time?
Well, the other thing too is that bar's kind of quiet right now, and I mean they're picking up checks. Like, don't get me wrong,
it's
but we
impossible
haven't
to
seen
stay
them in the
hot
winter
the
circle.
entire meet.
I know, and that's this game. It goes in ebbs and flows, and we'll see what War Painter and Bolt Honoree, two former stablemates, will do when racing against each other in the 9th. The 10th is by far one of the toughest races on today's program to figure out. And you know what's interesting is that yesterday the jackpot high five, I never know how to say this, was gotten. That's never right. Somebody got it, and they took all the money yesterday. Was one. Thank you.
You're
welcome. Yeah, this is the difference between the university education and a college education. But yeah, so we started anew with the jackpot high five with this maiden special weight going a mile on the E.P. Taylor turf course, and you get this big field. You got 12 horses to choose from here, and it's a tough one. But I think that John Ross might have an interesting horse in this race, and that's how are we going to say this horse's name?
It's Kamasi.
Kamasi.
That's who I picked last time.
We like the Bolt Doros.
Yeah,
we like the Bolt
that's why
Doros.
I picked them last time.
And the winner is a plate horse now.
Exactly. And Kamasi ran great. You know, you run first time out, you get a 66 buyer speed figure. More often than not, that might put you in the winner's circle here at Woodbine. But now you get a little bit more ground to work with. Now you might be running where Fukumoto's riding. That's because Flores is on the sidelines right now, so he picks them down here. And I'm okay with that. He's riding really well. Borealis Trail had a bit of an adventurous trip last time out, so was a little bit more keen than usual. So I think that's why Doug is maybe going towards that one. Doug's got the hot hand as of late, handicapping wise. Probably Hale was a bit of a disappointment in that most recent race. Now looks to bounce back. And King Rosso, we're going to have more on this horse when we get to the Clocker reports. Comes out of a very key race last time at the fairgrounds, but do you think it's too many chances for you to go in this one?
Well, you know what? I used the horse at the bottom of my jackpot high five. I think the interesting horse is the Doyle horse too. Perfect works because this one
come from?
Exactly.
Yeah.
This horse ran a game second to another horse that we're going to see in this year's King's Plate. Those plate references, you gotta look for them. And when they ran second to him, I think that means you should include them in your ticket.
That was a big rally. A big number too. 27-1 on that day. These last races. So tough, and I just want to give congratulations out to HBI player yesterday that hit the jackpot high five. I think he didn't spend all that much money for it, and I think it was maybe like $2, and he hit it.
Good for them.
Yeah,
good
made
for
over
them.
$80,000 too. So kudos to them.
Think of all the hot dogs he can get.
Yes. You don't need those free 2 for days, 2 for free days. But.
Alrighty, everybody, 10 races in store for you today. We got to talk about our plays of the day, and we'll start first with you, Jeff.
Alrighty, what did I send in?
What did I send in?
Great question. My speed threat comes up in race number 1 rather. The 6 Catch a Tiger right now at odds of 2-1. My pedigree play is going to be English Actor coming up in the 7th. My best bet is going to be Bolt Honoree, and I'm sticking with Kamasi.
Yeah, very interesting horse. Yeah, Nito. I can't remember what I sent in either.
6-2.
Oh, Tony, of course, our boy, Tony from Angus. He made our watch list.
I don't know who Tony is.
I don't know. Is Angus a town in Ontario? It might be. It might be. So it's got to be named after someone. Maxine, maybe he has a helicopter that he can loan me. Maxine's Magic is going to be my repeat threat.
Who's Maxine?
Yep. Yeah, it was Maxine. Sky Digger, I think that one could be good to go. That's in the baby race. And I went with you with Kamasi for John Ross. Always nice to see that John Ross barn in the winner's circle. Doug's got interim analysis at 2-1 in race number 4. That's the Cassie horse. We talked about that race. Poetic Amy for our Woodbine TV producer at 7-2, and Private Label for Ron at 2-1 in the 8th race on the card.
Yeah, Private Label looking to double things up for conditioner Rachel Halden. And you were telling me a bit of a cool story, speaking of Rachel, because Rachel was a longtime assistant for Roger. You were saying that Roger was down at the Hall of Fame ceremonies this week.
Well, you know, it's funny, when we were doing the stake yesterday and Roger had the horse in the stake and Catherine Day was putting the tack on, I thought, well, that's interesting, because we knew Rachel had a horse in the race. But Roger told me a couple of weeks ago, he said that he was invited down to Saratoga for a huge celebration with the Horse Racing Hall of Fame. And they were bringing back, past inductees to celebrate. And the whole whole trip was paid for by the Hall of Fame, so he was going to go and enjoy himself. So good for him. Yeah. Bolt Honoré makes the clocker list. We kind of figured that one. 47-4 is the work they're talking about on the 26th of July. And King Rosso for Kevin Attard. Not a day goes by that he doesn't catch a Kevin Attard horse.
Yeah, well, he's got 1,000 of them, so naturally you're going to gravitate towards some of them in there. So those are a couple of two good ones, and he was 2 for 2 yesterday. With
Good for him. Good for him.
How about the year that Ron Sadler's having? Do you know that he's like almost clicking at like a 45% rate right now?
Unbelievable. He won with Warcourt yesterday, and that's a great training job because that's only the second start off of what, an over a year layoff?
Yep. First win for Chiefswood for him, I would think.
Yeah, and that might be an indication that he's going to be getting a few more. I would send him a few more too. He's a great conditioner. All right, we are going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, Jeff and I still have plenty of things to talk about, including a King's Plate worker.
Love horse racing? HPIBet.com is Canada's leader in online horse betting. Access thousands of live races from hundreds of tracks worldwide instantly. Enjoy the most advanced betting tools like AI Smart Picks and exclusive cashback rewards you won't get anywhere else. Join today and get up to $100 in free bets. Get the ultimate horse betting experience with HPIBet.com.
There's a reason we use expressions like storybook season in sport. For over 160 years, the King's Plate has played out like an enchanted fairy tale. It's Canada's most prestigious horse racing event, where elegance meets excitement and tradition meets celebration. King's Plate, Canada's race. Be part of the spectacle, be part of the legacy. Tickets are selling fast. Get yours now at kingsplate.com.
Biggest race in the world. Pinch me, I think I'm dreaming.
They're off in the Dubai World Cup.
And they're into the stretch. Two of the great racehorses in the world. Giant Killer, by name and by nature. A race for the ages.
The CTHS sale is right around the corner, and Vicky Pappas does a great job of letting us know just who is in the catalog that's related to horses competing on today's program. And there are quite a few on today's card that are related to horses in this year's catalog.
Look at English Jubilee's got a half to heart to heart. That was a good horse for Brian Lynch back in the day. We've got a full system dissectologist that goes to set number 13. So we'll see if that one turns out to be as classy as dissectologist is. Any more? Are we going to turn
Is
the
that
page?
all we have for today?
We got more?
I thought we'd have a few more.
Yes. Oh,
yeah, there you go. Yeah, because I remember seeing this, there was one here I remember seeing. Bowman's Run, Flirting with Fire. There it is. Yeah, Flirting with Fire.
Vino Rosso?
The Vino Rosso. You know, it's funny. Vino Rosso kind of went through a little bit of, like, the horse was hot, and then he was not, and now he's hot again. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, and that was a Brian Lynch trainee as well, wasn't it, Vino Rosso?
I think it was Pletcher.
Was it? You think so? We have to check on that one. Okay.
I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I got to remember that one myself. Okay, 24 minutes on the clock, and we got to talk about King's Plate. We're going to talk about a lot of King's Plate for the next couple of weeks because, as Jeff reminded me, today is the penultimate weekend?
Yes.
Is that what we're going to say?
Yes.
It's Jeff's favorite word.
Away.
It's his favorite word. And look, I know our the home team at Ascot Thoroughbreds is listening. Jeff wants to name a horse penultimate.
That would be amazing.
Please. Okay, so anybody who needs to name a horse, that's it, penultimate. Here's a look at what we have as probables for this year's running of the King's Plate. And, you know, things are starting to take shape now, right? We've had a horse drop off the list, you know, that sort of a thing. going. We're starting to figure out, exactly what riders we're going to see here, and we're going to be really American heavy with riders.
We are, and I still think there's going to be a couple that are going to probably squeeze in, and you might see a couple of these elect not to go because the draw is going to take place a week Tuesday. And we did have a work from yesterday, courtesy of our friends at Delaware Park, and here's Tom's Magic, working with an unraced horse from Godolphin. And the unraced horse is going to be on the inside, and on the outside is Tom's Magic. But what I like about this work is it's a very easy work. You can tell that from the time. But watch when the horse hits the wire and the rider kind of asks this horse, just kick on really, really nicely. So right now, just nothing's really happening. It's smooth sailing at this portion, but just watch as we straighten things out a little bit. And listen, the problem is, I was trying to, when I looked up the competition that he was working with, because the horse doesn't run, we don't know. But in fact, it's a Godolphin horse. You gotta think it's got to be pretty good, right?
You know what else is interesting too? The rider, whoever it is that's on Tom's Magic, he had a whole bunch of horse. I mean, that horse wanted to go by, and I got a funny feeling here he just chirps to him and probably goes past him because look at his neck bowed, right? You are kind of holding on to him a little bit.
But watch right here. He's going to let the horse just have a quick burst here in a couple of seconds, and then we'll just kick on really and blow this horse away on the inside here coming up in a couple of seconds. Right now. You can see the visual, and they're gone.
Boom. Yep. And all that is he just put his hands down and asked him a little bit there. So very, very interesting. Now, of course, the question mark for Tom's Magic is the surface. But he has been a horse that's been on our radar all season. We've been watching him to see what he's capable of. And hey, if it's not the synthetic that he likes, he'll like the breeders on the turf.
Yeah, I don't know how Delaware Park found out that we needed that work, but thank you for passing it along because recorded works are so important.
Especially for horses like that we don't see here on a regular basis. We have so many great bets for you coming up too on Plate Day. Like it's $1 million in guaranteed pick 5 pools, but also this really cool bet called the Kings and Queens pick 3. You got the Power pick 6 that has a mandatory payout, the Jackpot High 5 with a mandatory payout, all sorts of big bets. But this Kings and Queens pick 3 is interesting because you get the King Eddie, you get the E.P. Taylor, and you get the Plate. These are like some of the best races that we give you here in Toronto with only a 15% takeout.
And because we're such pedigree nerds, you and I, did you know that the E.P. Taylor Stakes is one of the best races at producing broodmares that have had amazing careers?
I'm sure. Well, look at this. I mean, we have a beautiful course here, and we were busy on it yesterday.
Yeah, we were. And now, for the first time, it's a Breeders' Cup Challenge win your in race this season as well.
That's going to be exciting as well. All right, we got 21 minutes to go before race number 1 on the program. Horses have started coming into the paddock and are starting to be tacked up for race number 1 on the card. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to look